What's up, everybody? It's WolfBlade back here with another video. I have upgraded just a tiny bit. I've put that on another notch, and I've upgraded this thing, by the way. I decided to remove the cardboard because it was kind of messing with it. People weren't able to really read it very well, and put the keyboard on the back end of this and stuff. That way I could like take the keyboard out with me whenever I go use the bathroom or something, or leave my bike when I lock it up. And I'm gonna take the lights with me and stuff, because I have a feeling that one of these times people are gonna vandalize or try to take the stuff off my vehicle, and I'm gonna have to end up dealing with the law. So God bless. I know eventually people will be attacking me. That's why I've got to say this right now, just so. And I know I got some cop subscribers, which is good. I love the cops around here more than anywhere I've ever been in my life. This town has the best cops I've ever seen. They are actually protecting me. They're actually keeping me from harm. When I tell them like a certain group of people are attacking me, they're like, okay, just call us if you need any help. That's the kind of law we need in our town. So, that being said, I'm going to get into the scriptures. Alrighty. When Isaac was old and his eyes were so weak that he could no longer see, he called for Esau, his older son, and said to him, "My son, here I am," he answered. Isaac said, "I am now an old man, and don't know the day of my death. Now then, get your equipment, your quiver, your bow, and go out into the open country and hunt some wild game for me." This is really awesome sounding. Prepare. Cue the Zelda music. Like, that's awesome. Prepare me the kind of tasty food I like, and bring it to me to eat, so that I may give you my blessing before I die. Now Rebekah was listening as Isaac spoke to his son Esau. When Esau left for the open country to hunt game and bring it back, Rebekah said to her son, "Look, I overheard your father say to your brother Esau, 'Bring me some game and prepare me some tasty food to eat, so that I may give you my blessing in the presence of the Lord before I die. Now, my son, listen carefully and do what I tell you. Go out to the flock and bring me 2 choice young goats, so I can prepare some tasty food for your father, just the way he likes it. Then take it to your father to eat, so that he may give to you his blessing before he dies." So, when this is something I really want to say, because the people get this really mixed up. The people are like, okay, there's some followers of Jesus, but they use cannabis or cannabis oils, or they still drink or something. You gotta understand, what we have to understand as humans is when God created us, He created us in His likeness, but we all are different. We all have different diets. We all have to eat different foods. We all know our own diets. That's what makes us unique. That's what makes life life. So, when he said, prepare some tasty food for your father just the way that he likes it, that's his diet. That's the way he eats. So when you see people using cannabis or wine, or heavy alcohols, you can't really just point at them and say, "Oh, you're doing wrong." First, you gotta ask them, what kind of health benefits do you have? What makes you do this? Is it a sin, or is it for your health benefit? You can't just go pointing at somebody when you do it yourself as well. That's all I gotta say about the diet part. Is that's what people need to understand, because a lot of people don't know that. So because I'm done with like pointing fingers at people and others pointing fingers at me and stuff. Like, at the end of the day, I take my and the Lord says, you don't have to let people know what your sin is. But at the end of the day, I buy at least 2 nips, you know? Why? To take the edge off because of what I go through. Just like any other man does. And all throughout the Bible, people are drinking, getting drunk, and laying in their tents and stuff. Like, what was his name? Abraham. It was the first Abraham or something, I think. Or, Noah. It was someone. But, the Bible says it is better not to do, you know, better not to, you know. But I can't say the same about sexual sin. Sexual sin, just cut it off completely. Completely. Let God find you through your addictions if you have an addiction with something. But if you are using it for health benefits, that's another thing. That's something you gotta pray to your God about. You gotta be immersive in prayer. You got to be submissive to prayer. You got to say, Lord, if you really need me to give this up, please let me know. If it really is taking over my life, please let me know. And then he will confront you with that. So anyway, let's continue. Jacob said to Rebekah, his mother, but my brother Esau is a hairy man, while I have smooth skin. What if my father touches me? I would appear to be tricking him and would bring down a curse on myself rather than a blessing. His mother said to him, my son, let the curse fall on me. Just do what I say and go get them for me. So he went and got them, brought them to his mother. She prepared some tasty food, just the way his father liked it. Then Rebekah took the best clothes of Esau, her older son, which she had in the house, and put them on her younger son Jacob. She also covered his hands and smoothed part of his neck with the goat skins. Then she handed her son Jacob the tasty food and the bread she had made. He went to his father and said, my father. Yes, my son, he answered. Who is it? Jacob said to his father, I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done as you told me. Please sit up and eat some of my game, so that you may give me your blessing. Isaac asked his son, how did you find it so quickly, my son? The Lord your God gave me success, he replied. Then Isaac said to Jacob, come near so I can touch you. My son, I know whether you really my son Esau or not. Jacob went closer to his father Isaac, who touched him and said, the voice is of Jacob, but the hands are of Esau. He did not recognize them, for their hands were hairy like those of his brother Esau. So he proceeded to bless him. Are you really my son Esau? He replied. I am, he replied. Then he said, my son, bring me some of your game to eat, so that I may give you my blessing. Jacob brought it to him. So here's something I want to say real quick. God is so awesome that he gives each and every one of our family an individual kind of condition. Like Esau was born hairy, so that when his father went blind, he would know if it is him. That's how awesome God is. Jacob brought it to him and ate, and he brought some wine and he drank. Then his father Isaac said to him, come here, my son, and kiss me. So he went to him and kissed him. When Isaac caught the smell of his clothes, he blessed him and said, the smell of my son is like the smell of a field that the Lord has blessed. May God give you heaven's dew, and the earth's riches, and abundance of grain and new wine. May nations serve you, and the people bow down to you. Be lord of your brothers, and may your sons of your mother bow down to you. May those who curse you be cursed, and may those who bless you be blessed. After Isaac finished blessing him, and Jacob had secretly left his father's presence, his brother Esau came in from hunting. He too prepared some tasty food and brought it to his father. He then said to him, "My father, please sit up and eat some of my game, so that you may give me your blessing." His father asked him, "Who are you?" "I am your son," he answered, "your firstborn, Esau." Isaac trembled violently and said, "Who was it then that hunted game and brought it to me? I ate it just before you came, and I blessed him. And indeed, he will be blessed." Then Esau heard his father's words, and he burst out with a loud and bitter cry and said to his father, "Bless me too, my father." But he said, "Your brother came deceitfully and took your blessing." Esau said, "Isn't he rightfully named Jacob? This is the second time he has taken advantage of me. He took my birthright." Oh my goodness, I remember now. "And now he has taken my blessing." Then he asked, "Haven't you served any blessing for me?" Isaac answered Esau, "I have made him lord over you, and have made all of his relatives servants, and I have sustained him with grain and new wine. So what can I possibly do for you, my son?" Esau said to his father, "Do you have only one blessing, my father? Bless me too, my father." Then Esau wept out aloud. His father Isaac answered him, "Your dwelling will be away from the earth's richness, away from the dew of heaven above. You will live by the sword, and you will serve your brother. But when you grow restless, you will throw his yoke from off your neck." Esau held a grudge against Jacob because of the blessing his father had given him. He said to himself, "The days of mourning for my father are near. Then I will kill my brother Jacob." When Rebekah was told what her older son Esau had said, she sent for her younger son Jacob and said to him, "Your brother Esau is planning to avenge himself by killing you. Now then, my son, do what I say. Flee at once to my brother Laban near Haran. Stay with him for a while until your brother's fury subsides. When your brother is no longer angry with you and forgets what you did to him, I'll send word for you to come back there. Why should I lose both of you in one day?" Then Rebekah said to Isaac, "I am disgusted with living because of these Hittite women." Thank God. "If Jacob takes a wife from among the women of this land, from Hittite women like these, my wife will not be worth living." So Isaac called for Jacob and blessed him. Then he commanded him, "Do not marry a Canaanite woman. Go at once to Paddan, Aram, to the house of your mother's father, Bethuel. Take a wife for yourself there, from among your daughters of Laban, your mother's brother. May God Almighty bless you and make you fruitful and increase your numbers until you become a community of peoples. May he give you and your descendants a blessing given to Abraham, so that you may take possession of the land where you now reside as a foreigner, the land of God gave to Abraham." Then Isaac sent Jacob on his way, and he went to Paddan Aram to Laban, son of Bethuel, an Aramean, the brother of Rebekah, who was mother of Jacob and Esau. Now Esau learned that Isaac had blessed Jacob and had sent him to Paddan Aram to take a wife from there. And that when he blessed him, he commanded him, "Do not marry a Canaanite woman." And Jacob had obeyed his father and mother and gone to Paddan Aram. Esau now realized that how displeasing the Canaanite women were to his father Isaac. So he went to Ishmael and married Mahalath, the sister of Nebaioth, and the daughter of Ishmael, son of Abraham, in addition to the wives he already had. Jacob's dream at Bethel. Jacob left Beersheba and set out for Haran. When he reached for a certain place, he stopped for the night because the sun had set. Taking one of the stones he put under his head. He lay down to sleep. He had a dream in which he saw a stairway resting on earth. On the top, with its top reaching to the heaven. And the angels of God were ascending and descending onto it. There above it stood the Lord, and he said, I am the Lord, the God of your father Abraham, the God of Isaac. I will give you and your descendants the land on which you are laying. Your descendants will be like dust of the earth, and you will spread out of the west and the east. You will spread out to the west and the east, to the north and to the south. All the peoples on the earth will be blessed through you and your offspring. I am with you and will watch over you wherever you go, and I will bring you back to this land. I will not leave you until I had done what I had promised you. When Jacob awoke from his sleep, he thought, surely the Lord is in this place, and I was aware of it. He was afraid and said, how awesome is this place? This is none other than the house of God. This is the gate of heaven. Early in the next morning, Jacob took his stone and he had placed under his head, and he set it up as a pillar and poured oil upon it. He had called that place Bethel, though the city used to be called Luz. And Jacob made a vow, saying, if God will be with me and watch over me on this journey I am taking, and will give me food to eat and clothes to wear, so that I return safely to my father's household, then the Lord will be my God, and the stone that I have set up as a pillar will be God's house. And of all that you give me, I will give you a tenth. Jacob arrives in Paddan Aram. 29. Then Jacob continued on his journey and came to the land of the eastern peoples. There he saw a well in the open country with the 3 flocks of the sheep laying near it, because the flocks were watered from that well. The stone of the mouth of the well was large. When all the flocks were gathered there, the shepherds would roll the stone away from the well's mouth and water the sheep. Then they would return to the stone to its place over the mouth of the well. Jacob asked the shepherds, my brothers, where are you from? We're from Haran, they replied. He said to them, do you know Laban, Nahor's grandson? Yes, we know him, they answered. Then Jacob asked them, is he well? Yes, he is, they said. And there comes his daughter Rachel with the sheep. Look, he said, the sun is still high. It is not time for the flocks to be gathered. Water the sheep and take them back to the pasture. We can't, they replied, until all the flocks are gathered and the stone has been rolled away from the mouth of the well. Then we will water the sheep. While he was still talking with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she was a shepherd. When Jacob saw Rachel, daughter of his uncle Laban, and Laban's sheep, he went over and rolled the stone away from the mouth of the well and watered his uncle's sheep. Then Jacob kissed Rachel and began to weep aloud. He had told Rachel that he was a relative of her father and the son of Rebekah. So she ran and told her father. As soon as Laban heard the news about Jacob, his sister's son, he hurried to meet him. He embraced him and kissed him and brought him to his home. And there Jacob told all these things. Then Laban said to him, "You are my own flesh and blood." Jacob marries Leah and Rachel. After Jacob had stayed with him for a whole month, Laban said to him, "Just because you are a relative of mine, you should go work for me for nothing. Tell me what your wages should be." Now Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the older was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Leah had weak eyes, but Rachel had a loving figure and was beautiful. Jacob was in love with Rachel and said, "I will work for you 7 years to return for your younger daughter Rachel." Laban said, "It is better that I give her to you than to some other man. Stay here with me." So Jacob served 7 years to get Rachel, but they seemed like only a few days to him because of his love for her. Then Jacob said to Laban, "Give me my wife. My time is completed, and I want to make love to her." So Laban brought together all the people of the place, gave a feast, but when evening came, he took his daughter, Leah, and brought her to Jacob, and Jacob made love to her. And Laban gave his servant Zilpah to his daughter as her attendant. When morning came, there was Leah. So Jacob said to Laban, "What is this you have done to me? I served you Rachel, didn't I? I served you for Rachel, didn't I? Why have you deceived me?" Laban said, "It is not our custom here to give the younger daughter in marriage before the older one. Finish his daughter's bridal week. Then we will give you a younger one as well, also, in return another 7 years of work." And Jacob did so. He finished the week with Leah. And then Laban gave him his daughter Rachel to be his wife. Laban, his servant, Bilhah to his daughter, Rachel as her attendant. Jacob made love to Rachel also, and his love for Rachel was greater than the love for Leah. And he worked for Laban another 7 years. Jacob's children. When the Lord saw that Leah was not loved, he enabled her to conceive. But Rachel remained childless. Leah became pregnant and gave birth to a son. She named him Reuben, for she has said, It is because of the Lord seen my misery. Surely my husband will love me now." She conceived again, and when she gave birth to the son, said, "Because the Lord heard that I am not loved, he had gave me this one too." So she named him Simeon. Again she conceived, and when she gave birth to a son, she said, "Now at last my husband will become attached to me, because I have borne him 3 sons." So he was named Levi. She conceived again, and when she gave birth to a son, she said, "This time I will praise the Lord." So she named him Judah. Then she stopped having children. When Rachel saw that she was not bearing Jacob any children, she became jealous of her sister. So she ran to Jacob, "Give me children, or I will die." So Jacob became angry with her and said, "I am in the place of God, who has kept you from having children." Then she said, "Here is Bilhah, my servant. Sleep with her so she can bear children for me." and I too can build my family through her." So she gave him to her servant Bilhah as a wife. Jacob slept with her, and she became pregnant and bore him a son. Then Rachel said, "God has vindicated me. He has listened to my plea and given me a son, because this is the name. Because this she named him Dan." Rachel's servant Bilhah conceived again and bore Jacob a second son. Then Rachel said, "I have a great struggle with my sister, and I have won." So she named him Naphtali. When Leah saw that he had stopped having children, he took her servant Zilpah and gave her to Jacob as a wife. Leah's servant Zilpah bore Jacob a son. Then Leah said, "What a good fortune." So she named him Gad. Leah's servant Zilpah bore Jacob a second son. Then Leah said, "How happy I am. The woman will call me happy." So she named him Asher. During wheat harvest, Reuben went out into the fields and found some mandrake plants, which he had brought to his mother Leah. Rachel said to Leah, "Please give me some of your son's mandrakes." But she said to her, "Wasn't it enough that you took away from my husband? Will you take my son's mandrakes too?" "Very well," Rachel said. "He can sleep with you tonight in return for your son's mandrakes." So Jacob came into the fields that evening. Leah went out to meet him. "You must sleep with me," she said. "I have hired you with my son's mandrakes." So he slept with her that night. God listened to Leah, and she became pregnant and bore Jacob a fifth son. Then Leah said, "God has rewarded me for giving my servants to my husband." So she named him Issachar. Leah conceived again and bore Jacob a sixth son. So Leah said, "God has presented me with a precious gift. This time my husband will treat me with honor, because I have borne him six sons." So she named him Zebulun. Sometime later, she gave birth to his daughter and named her Dinah. Then God remembered Rachel, and he listened to her and enabled her to conceive. She became pregnant and gave birth to her son and said, "God has taken away my disgrace." She named him Joseph and said, "May the Lord add to me another son." Jacob's flocks increased. After Rachel gave birth to Joseph, Jacob said to Laban, "Send me away so I can go back to my own homeland. Give me my wives and children, for whom I have served you, and I will be on my way. You will know as much work I've done for you." But Laban said to him, "If I have found favor in your eyes, please stay. I have learned by divination that the Lord has blessed me because of you." He added, name your wages, and I will pay them." Jacob said to him, "You know how I have worked for you, and how your livestock had fared under my care. The little you had before I came has increased greatly, and the Lord has blessed you wherever I have been. But now, when may I do something for my own household?" "What shall I give you?" he asked. "Don't give me anything," Jacob replied. But if you will do this one thing for me, I will go on tending your flocks and watching over them. Let me go through all your flocks today and remove from them every speckled or spotted sheep, every dark-colored lamb with every spot or speckled goat. They will become my wages, and my honesty will testify before me in the future, whether you check the wages you have paid for me. Any goats in my possession is not speckled or spotted, or any lamb that is not dark-colored will be considered stolen. Agreed, said Laban. Let it be as you have said. That same day he removed all the male goats that were streaked or spotted, and all the speckled or spotted female goats, all that had white on them, and all the dark-colored lambs, and placed them in the care of his sons. Then he put a 3-day journey between himself and Jacob, while Jacob continued to tend the rest of Laban's flocks. Jacob, however, took fresh cut branches from a poplar, almond, and plane trees and made white stripes on them by peeling the bark and exposing the white inner wood of the branches. Then he placed and peeled the branches, all the water troughs, so that they would be directly in front of the flocks when they came to drink. When the flocks were in heat and came to drink, they made it in front of the branches. They bore young that were streaked, or speckled or spotted. Jacob set apart the younger of the flock by themselves, but made the rest face streaked and dark-colored animals that belonged to Laban. Thus he made separate flocks for himself and did not put them with Laban's animals. Whether the stronger females were in heat, Jacob would place the branches and the troughs in front of the animals so they would mate near the branches. But if the animals were weak, he would not place them there. So the weak animals went to Laban, and the strong ones to Jacob. In this way the man grew exceedingly prosperous and came to own large flocks and female and male servants and the camels and donkeys. Alright, that's all I'm gonna read for now. How cool is that though? Imagine back then, you bore a son and he becomes a bow hunter. This is why I wish we lived back then. It was so much more cool, so much more adventurous. Anyway, tomorrow I'm gonna read Jacob flees from Laban. I will see you all in the next video.